Wow, it is really time for the candidates to go to the mattresses. You can hear it. Bruce Turkel, Turkel Brand CEO. He is paid to manage crisis PR. And so I brought him in today for his prescription for each of the candidates. Bruce, let's get right to it because you can tell by the tone it is Hail Mary time. What advice would you give to Marco Rubio? Is this con artist thing a good idea? What should he do?
The con artist thing is a good idea as a concept. The last chapter in my last book was called Repeat, Repeat, Repeat. Make a point and say it over and over and over. However, ironically, that doesn't give you the right to be repetitive. You have to say it in new, compelling ways. And here's Rubio's problem. How is he perceived? He's already seemed to be a robot. He seemed to be someone who just repeats whatever's on the teleprompter. He seemed to be the person who says whatever his handlers say. He's got to come up with different ways of saying it. But by saying the same thing over and over, what he does is he confirms everyone's opinion that he's not ready to lead because he can't think on his feet. He doesn't think in a crisis. I'm just waiting for them to start calling each other duty heads and saying, he who smelt it dealt it. I mean, I feel like we're in sixth grade here.
I feel like I heard that. I think I heard that. So, but I mean, to be clear, you say that he has to hammer in this message, but he has to try and say it in a new way every single time. That's the advice you would give Rubio.
Exactly right. The message makes sense, but you have to come up with new ways to say it.
For him specifically. Let's move on to Cruz. So he made Trusted his brand. I've learned from you the worst thing that can possibly happen is if something comes in that that undermines your brand. So
right.
What advice would you give to Cruz?
Well, Cruz has to do what every marketer has to do. It's not just for him, it's everybody. The strongest thing you can do is take a liability and turn it into an asset. If you can make that transformation, everything changes. So Cruz is not likable. He's got to stop with this nonsense of how do you make him likable, how do you get people to support him, and instead, what he's got to do is demonstrate that that lack of likability is because he stands for something greater. His problem, other than the fact that he's not likable, of course, is that he doesn't take a stand on anything other than saying the same thing over and over, but he doesn't do it in such a way that people say, oh, I see what's in it for me. He talks about himself. He needs to stop that.
Okay, Bruce, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, David.
Thank you, Melissa.
How many millions of dollars could Bruce make talking to these guys?
Oh, from them in particular.
If he was to move to politics, I think he'd be a clear winner. He's a winner already, but even more so.